YouTube, how are you doing today? I'm alright, thanks for asking. So, remember the other day, happy as Sat Userless, asked that when sending me replays, try to focus on the smaller scale stuff I can actually help you with. Well, not to be outdone, Wicked decides to send me a 40-minute long replay for a 3v3 that I don't even know if this is going to go up on my channel. We'll see. Depends on how watchable this is. Because if my computer can't handle it, you won't get to see it, and this will just be for my own benefit. But hey, let's see what happens. This is apparently a huge 3v3 that really came down to the very end. We have Wood Elves, Empire, and Dawi versus Dark Elves, High Elves, and Bretonia. Well. Nothing themed about this. So let's look at Wicked's army. He sent me Durthu, 4 units of Eternal Guard, one of them is Regiment of Renown, and he also brought the Regiment of Renown, Azrai, War Dancers with Spears. I love War Dancers. 3 units of, I believe, Way Watchers, 3 units of the mounted skirmisher with Hagbane tips. I can't remember their name. Because they're not the Glade Guard. There's something. It's not going to matter. Dark Elves brought Morathi, probably on a mount. I'll guess that she is. 3 units of Dread Spears, 3 units of Witch Elves, 2 units of Repeater Crossbows with Shields, and we'll just get into the rest once it loads. Oh, okay. So 2 units of Shades, 2 units of Reaper Claw Bolt Throwers, and 1 War Hydra. Hey, I got through it. There we go. But let's see what this looks like on the actual battlefield. This loading screen does not instill me with much confidence that I'll be able to watch this at a decent pace. They went on multiplayer crossroads, so there is no terrain about this. This is just a 3v3 throwdown. All about the picks, all about the tactics, all about those loading times. Let's get ready to melt our processors. Bretonia went with a 1,500 man army. That's going to be a lot of peasants, I'm guessing. And High Elves brought 278, a really elite group. And oh my god, the defensive geometry. Okay. Wow, this Glade Riders is what they're called. Probably didn't get to deploy in time. No, wait, that's forward deployed. That's up there. All right. Let's look at the High Elf player. We have Illyrian Reaver Archers. 4 units. One of them is a Regiment of Renown. I did mention the 2 Shades of Dual Weapons earlier. The High Elves also brought a Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, a Noble on a Chariot. I love that choice. 2 Frostheart Phoenixes. This must be Regina. Ilariel the Radiant on her. Yes, it is. And as you can see, she's already grown a little bit since the last time I've covered her stuff, because she's picked the High Elves as her army and not Avalorn, but she did go with her favorite Ilariel the Radiant on her mount. 3 units, of Frostheart Phoenixes. I'm going to go ahead and oh, those aren't chariots. The fire has already begun, and I don't want to lose anything here, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue watching the rest of the armies. Morathi did go without a mount. And then Bretonia, I'm expecting to see a lot of peasants. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of peasants at 160 per unit. That's 500 plus another 300. That's 800 peasants have made it to the field of battle. And then we've got 2 men-at-arms at shields. I hope that math is right. That's going to be really embarrassing if I got it wrong. 2 more men-at-arms at shields. And then Knights of the Lionhearted, which are Knights of the Realm Regiment of Renown. Defenders of the Fleur de Lis, which is a Knights Errant Regiment of Renown. A Companions of Quinlet, Questing Knight Regiment of Renown. And a Grail Guardian unit. Very cool Bretonian army. As well as, look at this, 2 paladins on Pegasus mounts and King Luin Liakur on Buki. What an army that is. That's really cool. I like that Bretonian army. And, alright, so let's look at our defensive geometry. Way out here in the back, though, we do have a unit of Reiksguard. Chillin'. I guess they're meant for late game shenanigans, but we do have Glade Riders, the Hagbane tips. They're already falling back to join this defensive geometry. Okay, so it's mixed up, so I'm not going to bother getting the armies one at a time. I'm just going to go from right to left on the outer perimeter. We have the 2 Eternal Guards with shields. We have 2 Halberdiers, Longbeards, 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 and Longbeards for the front line. All right, let's see how that does. 2 more Halberdiers, 2 more Eternal Guard with shields. 1, 2, 3, 4 Dawi Thunderers. We have 2 handgunner units from the Empire. One of them is the Regiment of Renowned Silver Bullets. We've got the Hammer of Witches and the Sunmaker. Very popular choices. Boris Todbringer on his flying mount, and a Jade Wizard on a Pegasus. As well, we've got Durthu right in the middle of this formation, backing up his Way Watchers, mixed up with the artillery. We have Loex Tricksters, the War Dancers with the Aserai Spear in the back, Glade Riders, the Regiment of Renown Eternal Guard bringing up the rear with more Glade Riders with Hagbay and Tips. We have Iron Breakers and Giant Slayers backing up some cannons. And I think that is everything. So they left their cavalry free to maneuver, but let's see how this defensive geometry holds up. Sure enough, the artillery, oh wow, what a dodge from the Glade Riders on that first shot. However, the first blood goes to the player of the High Elves, which is probably Regina, as she's going to start chasing off the Glade Riders. So we have a little bit of early skirmishing. Not a problem. I'm going to do a real quick thing here, because I watched Air do this earlier today. I want to see if I can't do some of the same. I want to turn on some, it's probably in here. No? Back up, where's the, maybe it's in controls. Yeah, let's put on that cinematic smoothing. Wait, I did have cinematic smoothing on, didn't I? Yeah, it's all the way up. Okay. Never mind then. Doesn't seem like I have cinematic smoothing on. Alright, well, whatever, we'll just keep going. Must be a graphics thing. So the 2 armies have moved off. We're going to go ahead and fast forward so we can get to the engagement. We do have artillery opening fire on the Paladin and Bretonnian forces. This is going to be a pretty hefty skirmishing phase at the beginning, especially with all of the artillery that the Allied force brought against the enemy force. And the enemy force is going to go ahead and get their artillery units into position, but they, I do believe, are going to be quite outpowered in this engagement. So yeah, the enemy force is going to do their best to try and envelop this formation, which I think is the best call. But I would also try getting, like, maybe your artillery onto the flanks. I mean, if they're going to sit there and let you walk around, go ahead and move your artillery to the flanks and just start taking shots down these long lines of, like, Longbeards, Spearmen, Glade Guard. I mean, why not? If your enemy's just going to sit there, might as well. So yeah, this is all in fast forward. We're still maneuvering. We're still getting into position. There's lots of shots being taken. The Sunmaker is not open fire yet, neither has the Hammer of Witches. The cannons, however, have, and they're still opening fire on... That's a pretty good target. They're going after the ranged skirmishers for the enemy faction. Oh, it looks like we have some attack orders coming in here. The Reichsguard have gone ahead and they've pulled up to rejoin the formation. The Glade Riders... Oh, and here we go. The Empire Artillery has opened fire, as has the High Elf Artillery. High Elf Artillery is targeting the infantry, I'm guessing, by the looks of it, the handgunners. And... oh man, look at the damage caused to the Dread Spears. That is actually a pretty good target for the Hellstorm Rocket Battery, the Sunmaker, because that's probably the most blobbed up group. And they're wisely ignoring the peasants. That is absolutely what you should be doing here. The peasants are designed to try and take fire, be a meat shield, absorb any charges. Well, there's no charges to absorb here when your enemy's just going to sit here and take it. The Levery and Reaver Archers are doing a good job of trying to single out the Glade Riders with the Hagbane tips, and unfortunately the Thunderers are still on auto fire, and they're just going to go ahead and pour shots into the poor peasant mobs. Honestly, those are wasted bullets. The Halberdiers, the Eternal Guard, they can kill peasants just fine. Sunmaker rounds coming over the top, and they're hammering the Dark Elf army as they move into position. And unfortunately, the Reaper Bolt Thrower is just getting a little bit too much damage, but they are targeting... who are they targeting? Let's see here. Yeah, they are trying to take out the Hammer of Witches. That's a good target. Oh, here comes the Bretonnian Goon Squad to try and Alpha Strike Boris Todbringer. What a fight this will be. But there's also a Jade Wizard in here, and all sorts of ranged units can pour fire into that as well. We have a spell that's triggered off here, and it looks like it's no, it's just a Foe Seeker, Lion Shield, Deadly Onslaught. There was one in here. Oh, the Sword of Corone had been activated. That's what it is. And what are these peasants just doing, just sitting here? Honestly, I'd be charging them in. There's no reason to keep them at this point, unless you're just hoping to absorb more bullets, but looks like the ranged units have got more important things on their mind. Your Lear and Reaver archers are continuing their maneuver around back, and they have, if you haven't noticed, they have actually pulled open the formation some here, spaced things out. And the Shades are now in position to engage the Glade Riders. It's actually going to be good engagement for them. Look at this Noble out here in his chariot all by himself. I'll be very interested to see what this Noble can pull off in the rest of this battle. This should be pretty fascinating. Look at these shots getting hammered down. Durthu is staying well defended, and I'm really surprised at this. Oh, look at that. The Reichsguard have pulled through, and they've decided they're going to go ahead and hit the peasant mob. This is still, believe it or not, the skirmish stage of this battle, but there's a lot going on. The Allied forces are now basically surrounded. Bretonnia has brought their cavalry around, and oh, they're in wedge formation. They've reached the Glade Riders as the Illyrian Reaver archers continue their gigantic Cantabrian circle around this formation, just peppering what they can. The Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is now the target of the Sunmaker. I think I'd rather see the Sunmaker target right here, but we have a spell coming in. This is a Flock of Doom. Perfect spot for it, too. Get those Dark Shards as shields out of there. This War Hydra, being forgotten about momentarily, should be engaging and pulling through, but those are halberds. I don't know, I would go after the Longbeards. Get right through him. Go after the Hammer of Witches, maybe the Sunmaker. Enemy Lord is dead. That would be... Oh, that is Lewin Leoncourt has dropped. Boris Todbringer got the better of him. How fascinating is that? The two Paladins, however, are still on the job. They're now escorting Ilariel the Radiant. The Sunmaker is engaged in a new target. It's decided it wants to go ahead and chase off this Bretonnia cavalry. Good idea. Because your handgunners, who got forgotten about and are on attack orders that pulled them well out of the formation, are now in trouble. Do we just get a... I do believe there was a Pit of Shades that I must have missed earlier. I don't know how you miss one of those. And wow! Wow, Boris Todbringer just sit there, ate a Doom Bolt from the heavens. That's a pretty good shot. So the Illyrian Reaver archers are going to go ahead and just shoot right over top of the Spearmen and hit the Silver Bullets in the flank. That's a good shot for them. And the Sunmaker doing some work against cavalry. Usually you use that against infantry blobs, but why the heck not? Here come the Witch Elves. I would try pulling them even more onto the flank, get them around here and into the get them into the Turtle Guard, or maybe even into the Thunderers. Over here we have a Doomflock, I believe. No, that's a Soul Stealer. That's a good call. Steal the rest of Boris Todbringer's health. And over here we have a Flock of Doom upgraded, peeling more hit points off of the lower tier Dark Elf infantry. Actually, no, wait. One of the two Witch Elves are actually in that blob as well. And this is going to be the end of Boris Todbringer's. The two Paladins come around and get a little bit of revenge for the death of King Lewin Leoncourt. And look at Morathi just sitting here, sitting pretty. And now we have the Men-at-Arms as shields, and the War Hydra probably... No, I guess War Hydra's not being activated yet. Look at the artillery from the High Elves and Dark Elves still getting work done. And there goes Boris Todbringer. He's been dropped from a combination of Paladins and Reaper Bolt Throwers, and here come the Illyrian Reaver Archers yet again. So, I mean, I'm curious. Okay, look at this chariot. He is now chasing off some more handgunners. He's already up to 33 kills. Good job with that Noble. The cavalry advantage is... Ooh, it's actually evaporating over here as these units get caught by mass ranged fire. And I wonder how Durthu's doing. He's up over here. I guess he was wiping up some peasants. He's up to 25 kills already, but we still have a lot of ranged units and a lot of large units and cavalry and artillery left on the enemy side, though they are slowly but surely running out of ammo. The two cannons, 57 kills, 50 kills, doing great work. The Hammer of Witch is only 25 kills. It's about to be routed. The Sunmaker, 117 kills, also routing right now. The formation is still holding up fairly well. There are no more peasants on the battlefield. Nobody's surprised. And over here we've got another. Looked like another Doomflock was activated. Marathi has engaged these Longbeards and is winning. War Hydra sitting pretty, I guess, is waiting for an opportunity to get a clean fight with Durthu, because I'm not sure who else you'd want the War Hydra to engage. War Hydra is an anti. Oh, it's not anti-large. It is just anti-armor. I would be using that against the. I'd be using that against the infantry blobs here, just pulling through and trying to cause some damage into these Way Watchers. Way Watchers with 27, 14, and 12 kills. That might go up as the battle continues. The High Elf player wisely picking her targets, going after units like Thunderers, like artillery pieces. Oh, and here goes the War Hydra now. It's starting to pull through. Oh, it finds a gap in the line. In. Oh, and I've lost my game audio. There it is. Okay. And now that it's through, it's going to turn around and engage the Longbeards in the flank, and bam! Throws its Bretonnian allies all over the place. This turning into quite a battle. We got 31 more minutes of this. All right. We're in for the long haul, folks. Let's see how this goes. We got another spell coming in here. What's this? This looks like it's going to be an area of effect attack. Yes, it is. It's a Pit of Shades, and it's going to go ahead and try and gobble up some more of these Thunderers, but we do have pretty good magic resistance. Here comes another spell. This one's coming off of Durthu. It's another Flock of Doom, as Durthu's now up to 76 kills. Wow. Okay. The Frostart Phoenixes and Alariel the Radiant doing okay. We've got 12 kills on one on another, 5 on another. So this is a slow engagement as the factions really try to pick their targets and do the damage where they can, when they can. The Illyrian Reaver Archers peppering units on the flanks where they can, which is a good call. The Eternal Guards with shields are shielded, however, they are shielded on, is that their right hand or their left hand? Looks like their left hand, and these arrows are coming down their right side, so that can actually have an effect in some Total War games. I'm actually not 100% if that actually works in Warhammer, or if it's just a flat defense anyway. Oh, that looks like that was an interesting shot of, it was an Amber Spear just hit the War Hydra, but the War Hydra, oh wow, it's getting hammered right now with the combination of Halberds, Eternal Guard, and now the two Paladins. So that was a really good Amber Spear to start that off. That is a broken War Hydra. Here goes the Bretonnian infantry falling back, and the infantry engagement is now solely in the favor of the Allied forces. However, this unit of War Dancers gets caught out a little bit. This unit of Way Watchers as well. And these large units are going to go ahead and try and get these infantry that have been spread out a bit. How are the Giant Slayers doing? I'm curious about that. They've already racked up 32 kills. We'll hope it's against cavalry. And all the while, the artillery is still getting some work done on these really thick enemy formations. We still have ammo on the Shades as well, as they're going to start targeting out these Slayers. That's a good pick for them. The Way Watchers try chasing off Alariel the Radiant and her Flying Goon Squad, and that's also a good call. So if I'm these flying units of Bretonnia and the High Elves, what am I looking at as my target of choice here? I'm thinking I want to try and get right on top of these units here. Oh, and we must be out of ammo on our Illyrian Reaver Archers. They went ahead and they went for a charge on the Azrai War Dancer unit, probably trying to take it out of the engagement. They're going to do some cycle charges. I'd be taking my flying units and I'd be doing cycle charges into the Way Watchers right now. I don't care that it is Giant Slayers and Halberdiers and Spearmen on the ground, because you'll do your damage and then you'll get out. They'll try chasing you, they'll try bogging you down, but it's not going to be enough. Breath attack off the War Hydra, getting some more work done. Just look at the ranged engagement. This is a field day for the enemy faction here, as they just hammer the enemy positions with arrow after arrow after bolt after bolt after artillery. And the Dawi cannons now up to 77 kills. This unit of handgunners up to 37, as they really try removing the Grail Guardians and the Questing Knights and the other Bretonnian regiments of renown off the battlefield. So our Flying Goon Squad is looking like they're trying to chase off Halberdiers and Glade Riders with Hagbane tips. Okay, sure, but I'd be regrouping and I'd be trying to think about that next target. Oh my goodness, look at this. The Reichsguard had come back, gotten a piece of the Reaper Bolt Thrower with 60 kills, and even though they're routing, they pulled through and got some extra damage on the other unit with 59 kills. The Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is now officially out of ammo, and only has 48 kills to show for it, which is unfortunate. The cannons here, 102 and 78 kills. They really did a number on enemy large units. The War Hydra looks to be routing for the last time, but it is exposing these Slayers and Giant Slayers to more ranged fire from... Oh, nope, looks like they've had enough. As they're starting to run out of ammo, we have large routes. Okay, so Alarial Radiant is dropping a Star of Avalorn to try and heal up the Flying Goon Squad as much as possible, but I think they were needed. I honestly think they were needed in the battle earlier. As look at this, they're redrawing their circle. They're seeing that this is now going to go into another stage of warfare. I don't like this pick. I'm looking at all of these units that are routing. They're broken. They're not shattered. Chase them. Get them off the battlefield. Don't just sit here. Especially if I'm the Empire player. I've got, what, 3 units left? Good lord. Durthu, however, is in great shape, and this might be Operation Protect Durthu till the late game, because I don't ever want to face Durthu with 75% of his health in the late game, ever. Does Durthu have any healing? I'd be interested in, because I know he has some healing still possible. That is Blessing of the Ancients, Wild Heart. No, he only has Amber Spear and Flock of Doom. And the Empire player definitely did lose their Jade Wizard. Oh, look at that. The Bolt Thrower is now targeting at the cannons, which is a good call, but the cannons are going to trade back with that Reaper Bolt Thrower. And, oh, wow. Some direct hits on that cannon piece. This is fascinating to watch. Oh, another destroyed cannon piece. The Reaper Bolt Thrower is very accurate for what it does. Man, it is just hammering this cannon unit. Alright, so as we get ready to reach the next stage of this gigantic battle, and as more units of the enemy faction get chased off, let's go ahead and fast forward some. The enemy forces, you know what, I mean, I don't think there's much they can do about this enemy formation. They've definitely drawn their line and they said, okay, come get me. We have the infantry advantage. We're going to make you come to us. And surprisingly enough, the enemy faction does still have a ranged advantage in the form of these Reaper Bolt Throwers. Even though they're running out of ammo, they're breaking apart these cannons one by one. Slowly but surely. And this actually is a little bit of a wide open door here if you think about it. There's a chance here for the fast-moving units, if there are any cavalry units left, and I do see some off in the distance at the Illyrians, they could actually pull through here and do some damage. And if I'm Dawi, I'm sorry, who are you guys lined up to face? I mean, are you worried about these men-at-arms with shields? This Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower with no ammo? Okay, so the Wicked, who is our Wood Elf player, he's went ahead and he's gone and moved up his Way Watchers to try and chase off and try and kill off and get these units off the battlefield. And the Reaper Bolt Throwers have officially used their last of their ammo, and they spent it in some Dawi infantry, which was a good call because they had their flank totally exposed to you. Okay, so I think if I'm the Allied force here, I'm saying just push these guys out. We could just chase these guys out, get the power bar more in our favor. And actually, the power bar is really against the Allied forces right now, which is surprising considering there's only 407 enemies left. But granted, they do have a pretty hefty ranged advantage. Here's that Noble in the Chariot with 51 kills. The Illyrian Reaver Archer, 75 kills. 25 on the Regiment of Renown. Those are great numbers for those units. Okay, so it looks like we're coming back into the engagement. Yep, the High Elf player and the Bretonnian player see the Way Watchers out of position, and they're going to go ahead and do something about it. Deal some damage. maybe get one of these ranged units out of here, even though they only have 5 volleys left. That's 5 volleys that you don't want them using. Oh, but here come the handgunners, the Thunderers, I should say. Wicked is hammering the move orders. He is in panic mode, just like move, 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 move. That's why you kept hearing those Way Watchers yelling at me at the top of their lungs, because they don't want to deal with it. Yep, here they come. The Paladins just dive into the combined group of Way Watchers and handgunners, Thunderers, I should say. But the Slayers were about to chase it off, didn't get the chance, and here we go. The flying squad has found the cannon all the way out here. What are you doing? But the Way Watchers still have ammo, and they're going to make them pay for it. Wow. That would be the Iron Breakers, wouldn't it? Yep. They've been here this whole time waiting for their chance to strike. They still have 25 kills on them, but here we go. They've chased off the goon squad of the High Elves, but the High Elves, again, they didn't take much damage for it. The Illyrian Reaver Archers now on the charge. With too many Eternal Guard here, that's just, ooh, yeah, and here comes some ranged shots. That unit's going to break. Wisely, they're going to try and get them in the flank here before they can brace, and nope, they saw it coming. They made a charge order themselves, and wow, they punted them anyway. Here comes the chariot. I love chariots. Can't wait to see what this chariot is going to be able to do. It's going to get hung up on a broken artillery piece, and the Longbeards are going to do its work for it, but it's gotten bogged down now. I don't know if it's going to be able to do much. It has a Foe Seeker and a Deadly Onslaught turned on, and the Iron Breakers are going to continue to do that chariot's good work for it as they blow up their own forces and get no kills for it, as that chariot is going to wisely run off. Alright. Dark Elves don't have much left. High Elf seems to be the one player with much in the way of options still remaining. The Bretonnian player does have their Paladins in mostly good shape. Look at this unit of Eternal Guard with shields, still very healthy. 3 kills on that unit too. The Dwarf Lord doing just fine, 7 kills, he's shielded. Way Watchers now just about out of ammo. Durthu still in great condition with 127 kills, mostly from Flock of Dooms and possibly some peasants. There's still 3 more cannonballs for this cannon, but will they be able to hold their ground long enough? Who are they targeting anyway? There is nobody to target. That is just 3 men with no gun. That is really unfortunate for them. All of their artillery pieces had been broken, or they just haven't had a chance to remount them yet. Because it looks like, no, those are cavalry. Those aren't horses. Where are your cannons? It must be these over here. Yep. Sure enough, they all broke apart. And these guys have no ammo. I wonder, if I'm the Dawi player here, I might actually be sitting here because the enemy factions are giving me the time to think about it. I might try having this crew abandon their artillery piece and then put this one, who has 3 cannonballs, onto that artillery piece. See if he can't get some shots off. Alright, let's go ahead and fast forward. Looks like the Noble is thinking about making a charge, but by itself, not a good plan. Yeah, it's planning to go on in. Let's see what happens. It's found the Giant Slayers. Nope, it's gonna angle off and go after the cannons. Yeah, they have no ammo. I mean, there's not much point to. Ow, 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 ow. I don't like being on fire any more than you do. I would have just pulled through the Giant Slayers. And here comes the Flying Goon Squad, now attacking from multiple directions, trying to pull the attention of the enemy away. They dive in on the infantry, which that's a good call. They probably should be trying to kill infantry at this stage. Because guess what? You can always pull out of that if you don't like it. The Paladins may be thinking about diving in on. Nope, he's decided to pull off before engaging. He saw the High Elf player pulling out, and he said, "Okay, I'm pulling out too." The companions of Quenlet are gonna be very, very effective if they maintain their late game display here. Malaria Radiant is taking some fire, and it looked like an Amber Spear was getting targeted at her a second ago, but I didn't see it pull off. And here comes Durthu, now trying to do something about that Lord on a chariot. That chariot's getting some good, turned the wrong way, getting some good charges in. And, right into the Way Watchers along with the Paladin. Just keep pulling through, keep giving it move orders, just constantly on the charge. Now up to 95 kills, gets into the back of the Slayers. Oh, what a shot. And just keep pulling it through. Go into these Slayers next. You just left that Longbeard behind, go into the Slayers, go for it. What are they going to do to you? You'll just drive right over them. Mohawk stunties that they are. And then right back into it, going straight into the... Nope, gonna veer off. Go for that poor cannon crew. Running them right on over. Meanwhile, we are blobbed up over here. If anybody has any kind of spells or artillery or anything, that would be the time. Is there anything left anywhere? The forces are just bogged down, and sure enough, here we go. An Earthblood, I do believe, was just played by Alariel the Radiant. Yes, it was. And, oh man, the forces are starting to engage more and more of their troops, trying to do something about the Noble, possibly a Star of Avalorn as well. The Allied forces just trying to do everything they can to pull off as many hit points from the enemy as possible. And now another spell comes in, and I can't quite tell what it is. It might just be the terror effect of all of these crazy units that are in here that's causing that animation. As more and more units break, the Bretonnian infantry is engaged. They're now moving in. The Paladins are still flying around picking their targets, and here comes the Bretonnian cavalry to try and chase off some broken units. I would honestly just go ahead and charge those Slayers. Oh, here comes that Noble on a chariot, still doing work. Oh, those Slayers. 163 kills now. Durthu is leaving the engagement with 127 kills, as these Frostheart Phoenixes might actually be bogged down for the last time. And the chariot's just going to go ahead and keep charging in, pulling out, going back in again. And these Frostheart Phoenixes, look at the hit points. Look at the armor on this. They just shrug off damage from all of these units. And, oh, here comes some Bretonnian Grail Guardians now to hit this blob. Just, I think this is actually a good strategy. Use the Frostheart Phoenixes to try and tank out these blobs, and then charge, countercharge, recharge, retreat, charge again with all of your huge cavalry and chariot bonuses. Durthu's chased off the Bretonnian infantry. He saw him coming and was like, no, guys, here, I'm going to stamp your passport for you. You're going home. Get out of my backyard. Not that this is much of what I expect Durthu's backyard to look like. Not a tree in sight, right? Another Frostheart Phoenix manages to get out of there with only having lost maybe a fifth of its health. And more units are starting to break, but the power bar is starting to creep up for the Allied faction. Maybe they have a chance. Maybe they can win this. The chariot now at 200 kills as it finds some broken thunderers to abuse, and then it's going to charge right back in, knock over some spearmen, knock over some iron breakers and some longbeards, and maybe it's bogged down. Nah, they're all in move orders. They're not braced. They're not ready for it. The chariot's just going to keep moving. Paladin comes down and gets a hit off on the Dwarven Lord. And the chariot, I think the horses have earned themselves a break. How about you? Nah, I'm just going to use my halberd and just... Oh, wow, I think that horse just kicked that Dawi's head off. Good lord. It's a derpy animation where the horse is just like... They lift up their front hoof and a dwarf head explodes. What? Are you kidding me? Mark this day in the book indeed. That chariot should not be killing stunties this easily. Oh wow, what a charge! This is turned into a mess of a battle. So much staying power, even this late into the game. We're at like 25 minutes of this battle now, and it looks like finally we might have something breaking. Oh no, a paladin is routed completely. It's shattered. And that Dwarf Lord is still in it, but just barely, trying to chase off this other Paladin possibly, and a huge infantry blob just trying to deal some damage to these two Frostheart Phoenixes. Durthu is mostly playing a support role. He's chasing off units. I'm surprised he's not looking for infantry engagements. Oh, wait. But he is. He is looking for infantry engagements. And the infantry says, wait, we've changed our mind. We'll go away. We promise. We're not coming back. All right, Durthu says, I'm going back to deal with these Frostart Phoenixes. Wow. And this chariot still free to do work. It's now up to 240 kills. It's going to... Wow, what a hit. Right into this blob of dwarven infantry. Spearmen try to chase it off, and they will, but it's now up to 242 kills. Durthu is getting some hits in against the Frostheart Phoenix over here, the one that's most hurt. 137 kills for Durthu. The Witch Elves, you know, you might be able to berserk a unit if you can find one that's not supported. I would use those Witch Elves, honestly, to chase off those Halberdiers. That's what I would probably do. And then maybe to come in and grab the attention of the Way Watchers, or that Dwarf Lord would also have been a good target, but he's still alive in here somewhere. Oh, no, wait, he's running off right now. He's running away. This is what I would be diverting the Paladin to do. Kill this Lord. Take away their morale bonuses. Is there anything left that the enemy faction has for Durthu? I don't think so. I think this is going to be a victory for the Allied team, even though the power bar is against them. I mean, Alariel and the Frostheart Phoenixes, they might be able to do something about Durthu, but first they have to get rid of all these infantry units, right? Man, and sure enough, these Frostheart Phoenixes are losing their hit points. Durthu's going to try and take out this one. Chucks away some of the Way Watchers. And it's now down to 262 hit points. Will Durthu be able to finish it off? Can we get... He's going to chase it off. It's broken. It can still return unless they can find a way to kill it here. The Dwarf Lord hanging on to life, as is the Frostheart Phoenix. Here comes the Grail Guardians to charge the Dawi formation. They're mostly braced for it. Here comes the Companions of Quenelle, also hoping to charge this formation. The Noble on his chariot, getting plenty of work done now, up to 290 kills. More damage to the Longbeards, but the Longbeards have great morale. They're going to hang in, as are the Slayers and the Giant Slayers, because they cannot be broken. And the Iron Breakers, late game, more than half of its hit points. They're going to do just fine, just like Durthu is going to do just fine. And here goes another attempt at killing off a Frostheart Phoenix. And the Slayers see this opportunity as this Frostheart Phoenix has broken and started walking off this way. Another one is broken and is walking off the other way. Alariel's the only one left for the High Elves other than this Noble on the chariot. Nope, everybody's targeting the Noble now. Mass attack order. Get rid of the Noble. Take away their ground advantage. Or, not advantage, but take away their ground units. Maybe the whole army will break. Not a bad strategy, as it's now almost even on the power bar. And that's... Oh, no. Was that the Dwarf Lord that just died? I do believe it was. That was finally the end of the Dwarf Lord. There's so many dead here, you can't even find his body. Frostheart Phoenix has returned. They're going to go ahead and do something about this unit of Way Watchers. No ammo, but hey, it's still another unit you can chase off. And this is a great blob. And what is that Paladin hoping to do here? Get a charge on Durthu? Okay. Maybe the Illyrian Reaver Archers can save that Paladin. Now that Paladin's terrified. He's done. Nothing left for him. Oh, and here comes the Noble on the chariot again. 325 kills now. Durthu says, stop. Come back here. Face me. You are not allowed to keep doing this to my infantry. And this is all that the enemy faction has left that they can do, is just charge in again and again and again. Cycle charge back out. Wow, that chariot. 350 kills now, I do believe. Yep, and counting. Is just... But it's now eating Durthu's sword and branch arm. Ooh, not good for that chariot. Can the chariot get out? Yes, it can. There it goes for another run. The chariot has lived to chariot again. But it has stopped. Why has it stopped? Oh, it fell. It ran into another cannon. Alright, so the dwarf player realizes they're not going to stop him this time. They'll get another chance later. Oh, here's some Bretonnian cavalry. Let's go chase that some. If there's another Star of Avalorn, this noble could really use it. And and so could these Frostheart Phoenixes, which have come back, but they don't have much more healing they can do. So they're diving in. They're hoping to Alpha Strike Durthu, but there's not enough hit points on them. I don't believe that they can get this job done. A dark day indeed. These Frostheart Phoenixes and that Noble Chariot trying to get as much work done as they can against the infantry. Here comes the Bretonnian Cavalry for yet another charge. 121 kills on the first unit, 88 on the other, and they're going to get more. As they try to just, I'm guessing they're just hoping to swarm Durthu at this stage. But like I said, I just don't believe that there's anything left for the enemy faction to do about Durthu. Alariel's finally charged in, but I think the writing's on the wall here. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward this. There's still 8 minutes left in this battle. And that chariot is still, it's at 400 plus kills now, as it's going to go ahead and chase off this broken Eternal Guard with shields. And there's a lot of routing infantry now. What's left? We've got the Winterheart Guards. We've got some Giant Slayer, and the 51 Iron Breakers. As the enemy faction is going to wisely chase off what's left of the broken infantry. Or they should, anyway. Just got to shatter them if you can. There you go. Bring up the crew of the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. Give them a job. Absolutely. If I'm the Dark Elf player, with what little I have left, and it looks like he has found something to do, and that is try to regroup the Illyrian Reaver Archers, maybe? Oh, I know what he's doing. He's sending this crew to the far corner of the map, trying to keep them out of the way, because there may only be ranged units left in this engagement. Yeah, sure enough, he sent his crews off to the corners to try and help maintain the morale of flying units so that they don't have to land in order to get work done. Another unit of Longbeards over here that needs to break. 8 Grail Guardians left, but they're still in it. The Iron Breakers and Durthu are just so much armor and so much hit points. It's gonna be a hard task for the enemy faction here to do anything about the allied faction. Seven minutes left, and you know, all credit to the enemy faction here, for their team, for doing everything they can. They were pretty much forced to drag this fight out in order to do something about these formations, and the allied defensive formation really did extend this fight on their own to some degree. Here comes the Noble again on another charge, 431 kills. Companions of Quenlay charging again to give the Noble an out. Durthu with 143 kills. I think earlier in this game, the allied faction could have chased off large portions of these enemies before they got in.
Armed and ready. At speed. No, my knight's vow.
Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower crew with 49 kills and counting, as they are now doing infantryman work to chase off this unit of Longbeards, preventing them from coming back. Dread Spears slowly but surely moving up, but wondering why do they even bother showing up to this fight. That's a giant tree with a sword that looks like it's made out of lava and amber. I don't want to be here. Frostheart Phoenixes back yet again for another charge, but this is probably the end for them. I can't imagine them doing much else. The Noble on Chariot charges in, and they're now just trying to hammer Durthu as best they can. Alariel's doing her crazy maneuvers. Durthu's down to half health, and that's broken the iron breakers now. The Noble chasing them off, 445 kills. Oh no, wait, they've regrouped. But we have a Foe Seeker for more speed and more vigor, just more energy. There goes a shattered Frostheart Phoenix, and now it's a 1v1 Alariel versus Durthu, and of course the Winterheart Guards, who must be unbreakable. That must be why they're still here. Let's find out. Yes, they are an unbreakable unit. It's worked in their favor. There's only 3 of them left. Here comes the Noble. Wow, so Alariel's still up. The noble is still up.
Swiftly! The forest wills it!
The forest wills it. Noble tries charging into the Winterheart guards. Gets it, even though it bounced off of Durthu's ankle. Wow. Oh, the Iron Breakers. Regrouped just to eat another charge from the noble. Oh. Can Durthu get a hit off here?
At once! We are tireless! We understand!
Wow. The entire army is just counting on, or all that's left of the army is just counting on Durthu to protect them as best they can, because they need to do something about this noble on a chariot. What a noble day of battle this guy has had, too. Shall we just follow them around for a bit? I guess this makes the noble the Dave of the battle. Dave Noble.
With haste! At pace!
Right past Durthu, into the Iron Breakers yet again. Here we go. Oh, and Alariel dives in, stops the noble's charge, and the noble, oh, takes a big hit from Durthu. Oh, wow. Did Durthu just say Avada Kedavra? That's what it sounded like. Oh, almost lost the noble. Look at this. The Dark Elves. They're not done yet. They're charging in. Let's watch their morale break as soon as they get here. Oh, man. They're still thinking about it. Here comes Alariel charging in. Yeah, those Dread Spears are regretting coming to this fight. Durthu's down to 4,000 hit points. What's left that can even deal that damage to Durthu? Not much. But they're trying. They're trying to bring him down. There's now no infantry left for the Allied factions. The only unit left for the Allied faction is Durthu. It's Durthu versus everything. And Durthu's going to win. Oh, getting a really nice late cheap hit on Alariel. And remember I said those Reaper Bolt Thrower crews were going off to the four corners? Not anymore. Here they come to join in the engagement, to sacrifice themselves against Durthu, as well as the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower crew. Nah, I didn't think so. They're backing off. They can't face Durthu. What are they thinking? Okay, so where's the Noble and Alariel? What are they up to? Is there another Star of Avalorn coming? No, it doesn't look like it. They don't want to engage right away. They want to use the artillery crews to try and pin Durthu so they can get a good charge off on their own. Here they go. Bam! Durthu losing about 1,000 hit points there. Cycle out, cycle out, cycle out. If I'm the Noble on the chariot, if I'm Dave Noble, I want to get out of this engagement. I'll come back. That cycle charge might actually get the work done. Oh, Alariel is down! He had something stuck on his foot there. Durthu. It's an artillery crewman is what it was. But the Noble's still in it. 29-22 versus 862. Nope, that Noble is done. He's terrified. He's exhausted. He's done his job. 464 kills. And that's going to break everything that's left. 37 more seconds for Durthu to just come out here, kill another artillery crew, and maybe the companions of Quenelle. Well, the Noble's thinking about it. Does the Noble have more that the Noble can bring? Is there a 465th kill available for the Noble? 19 seconds to find out. Here it comes. He gets the derpiest charge in the history of derp, and this is going to be it. That Noble is done. Well fought for Wicked and Durthu, who clutches out the end of that battle. Honestly, the last 15 minutes belonged to Durthu. There wasn't anything much that the enemy faction could do about it, but that Noble, whew, what a run. I'm exhausted just casting that, folks. Whew. All right, so let's go ahead and just look at the highlights of all of these different armies. Durthu, 175 kills. Holy Pilgrim playing as the Empire player with Boris Todbringer, 309 kills on those Reichsguard. Great job charging enemy infantry. Valkyrie Hunt, the player of the Dawi, brought in some Longbeards, and those Longbeards went to work, but not quite so much work as the cannons did. Primal Rib of the Dark Elves, 195 kills on this Witch Elf, 208 on this Shade. Wow. Regina Dea, sure enough, I called it, was the High Elf player here. Those Frostheart Phoenixes and that Noble on the Chariot, let me tell you, I love chariots. They don't get much love, but when they can get holds of large groups of infantry, man, do they get work done. And I also like the Illyrian Reaver Archer pick. They did some pretty fantastic work as well. Scyther here playing as Bretonia. Brought the peasants, and the peasants managed 12 kills. 800 men, 12 kills of work. Gotta love it. And, yeah, look at the Bretonian Cavalry. The Bretonian Cavalry, 105 kills for the Grail Guardians, 144 for the Companions of Quenelle, 19 for the Knights of the Lionhearted, and 58 for the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis. And unfortunately for King Lewin Leoncoeur, and unfortunately for Boris Todbringer, 0 kills. The Paladins, though, they did manage to get some work done. That was big. That was huge. That's a long video. Folks, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm never watching that again. I hope you had a great time, folks. I know I did. I'll see you in the next battle.